So what I learned about networking when I was sort of getting into the managing bands thing, it's not like I had 10 bands under me, like I was in a band and we were managing that band and we were helping out a couple others book shows. Spending time with people that are up the food chain from you, now not necessarily up the food chain as in higher up, just people that are upstream of you, like that were booking shows or that had a need to have a venue filled. So I started to get to know some pub owners that like they had an issue that they only really served a lot of drinks between like 9 and 11 when they had a band on. And there wasn't a lot of people coming into the venues between like 7 and 9. And you know, that's when you can sell a meal as well as actual drinks. So I thought, well, what we need to do is book a good undercard of bands that are happy to play pretty cheaply and get a good crowd of people there and get a good network there. So there are certain bands that got big social circles, even if they're not the awesome bands, but they can fill a venue. And by doing that, you're getting booked more often. Now, what I was doing is I was running around and I was taking names and email addresses and phone numbers while everyone else was just having a good time. I was having a good time too, but I had this like clipboard, looked super important, so everyone gave me their details. And then they were on the mailing list and I was sending like 499 messages out at a time out of my Sony Ericsson like semi-smartphone. And I used to do that before I went to bed after the dog watch, a couple of days out from every show. And we would really fill those venues up, sometimes more than the main act. What I was learning there the whole time, databasing, networking, but the networking thing is what really got us the relationships. They get us more gigs, they put their name behind you, and then you get to meet with someone. You still have to impress them when you get there. And of course we do favours in return, so it's that giver's gain sort of, you know, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours kind of mentality, but not in such an old school way. It was all about just, you know, contributing. So when I got into real estate and I started a business, I was 23 and I had the goatee and an earring, and I thought, well, I've got to go and find out where the networks are. So someone that I knew said to me, you should come to NHJC, Newcastle Hunter Junior Chamber, which is now HYP, right? And I got involved in that. And the very first one I went to was a guy called Matt Friedman that spoke, and he had Redback Solutions, which were IT/website provider. They had a lot of market share around town, and he was making it big time in Newcastle in a challenging time. Spoke about his journey, talked about the importance of a business coach, importance of networking. So I said, well, that's really good info. I was so inspired by it. So I went up and saw him afterwards. I got his name. I got the name of the coach that he was talking to. And that was Julian Campbell, a guy that actually contributed to a lot of Newcastle organisations and still continues to. Wrote a little book called Stop the Wheel, I Want to Get Off, little penguins in it. I read the book back to back, cover to cover, and he told me to go to Business Swap at the time, which was another networking thing. It was like a motivational kind of breakfast, which we went to. It was at Soul Cafe at the time. And then that segued me into BNI, Business Network International, which I've been a member now for like 11 years, go every Friday or get a substitute to go. Teaches you good public speaking, your unique selling propositions, how to do an elevator pitch. And it really teaches you how to give to other people in the business community, and you know, you'll sort of get back. So I suppose the goal of really giving is that you don't have an expectation of receiving. So when you're turning up to these networking things, you're not going there like to grab cards and get deals, you know, whatever business you're in. You're going there to make a relationship, someone that's going to run the parallel journey with you. You can give something to them, some insights they can give to you, get to know the people on a different level. I think that HYP is just the perfect combo, particularly for sort of like coming out of uni into that 20-somethings range, or just starting to break through range if that happens to be in your 30s or even 40s, but just that career breaking through section where you're like, you just want that 2 or 3 people that are running the journey with you. A little bit more casual. It's sort of like, I think we had that term that we dubbed when it was in HJC, network, learn, fun. I don't know if that's still in there, but it was definitely like the combination. There was at least 2 out of 3 of those at nearly every event. HYP is definitely one to go for. I think networking has got to be a cornerstone if you're going to make it.